This is the story of how Islam started. Part 3. In the story about Hagar and her son Ismail, we heard how they came from the lands of Iraq to settle in the Arabian Peninsula. From there, Ismail's descendants spread out to many places, including settling in a valley near Mecca. It became known as the tribe of Jurhum. They stayed there for generations until other tribes began to arrive in the area, and the Jurhum tribe moved away, leaving this valley empty. That is how, according to Islamic tradition, the tribe of Quraysh ended up owning the valley, and in it, they rebuilt the Kaaba. It is said that the original Kaaba built by Abraham was destroyed by the rain of stones sent by the people of Thamud when they tried to kill Abraham's son Ismail. What remained of it was just a ruin, so the Quraysh decided to rebuild it. However, the task was more difficult than they expected. You see, the cubism was not only a place of worship, it was also the most important landmark in the area. Every year, hundreds of thousands of Arabs from different tribes gathered in Mecca during the pilgrimage season, Umrah or Hajj. So the core issue was, who was going to decide how the new Kaaba would look like? After all, each tribe wanted to make sure that their traditions were respected in the construction. Finally, they decided that every tribe would take care of a section of the building. The walls would be high and thick, and they planned to add a roof. In the eastern corner of the cube, where the sun rose, there was a large stone that shone black, probably because it was made of pure stone. Without any decorations, it was called al-aswad, meaning the black. In Arabic, it was the biggest and most valuable stone in the area, and it was also the oldest. Nobody knew exactly why it was there, but everyone knew that it must have some special religious meaning. The tribes agreed that whoever got the honor of placing the black stone in its special corner would receive the highest honor. For the time being, though, they marked the spot with a small pile of stones. Then they started to tear down the old wall piece by piece and rebuild it, a little higher and stronger than before. They pulled down the big stones and carried them back to the original foundation laid by Prophet Ibrahim. There they built up again, slowly making the walls higher and higher. By now it was almost finished, except for the black stone. But the tribes could not agree on who would get to put it back. The argument was getting heated. Men were shouting at each other. Some even threatened to draw their swords. Among them was Abu Jahl, a man full of pride and arrogance. He claimed that his tribe, the Hashemites, should get the honor because they were the most numerous and the strongest. Another man, meanwhile, suggested that the most distinguished members of each tribe should gather and then send a representative by lot. But others opposed this idea. "You won't trick us," they cried. "We want the tribes to decide together." Soon voices were raised against the Hashemites and their spokesman. "What right do you have to speak on behalf of all the tribes?" they shouted. "No right at all," Abu Jahl replied. "But if you think that you are better than us, prove it. Fight and show your strength." "That is what we will do," said one of them. And they began to pull out their swords. Just then, Abu Umayyah spoke up. He was a wise elder from the Quraysh tribe and very well respected by all the other tribes. "Brothers," he said, "why are we fighting over nothing? We are supposed to be friends and allies. Why bring evil upon ourselves and shed the blood of Muslims?" They lowered their swords and looked at him. "I have an idea," Abu Amr continued. "How about this? Let us put our dispute into the hands of the next man who enters the gate. Whatever he decides will be final." "Good idea," said one of them. "Let it be so." Then they waited, each one hoping that their side would win. But none of them expected that the next person to pass through the gate would be a young man named Muhammad bin Abdullah. At that point in history, Muhammad had earned the title al-Amin, the trustworthy one. He was the nephew of Abu Talib, leader of the Hashim tribe, and son of his brother, who had died in a battle against another tribe. His father had been killed by a man from the Juma tribe, which meant that Muhammad was related to both the Hashemite and the Juma tribes. He was still young, but already had a reputation for honesty and justice. When he entered the courtyard, the tribes told him about their problem. "So you have to decide," they said. "Which tribe deserves to raise the black stone?" Muhammad thought about it for a while. Finally, he said, "Bring me a cloak." When they brought it, he spread it on the ground, picked up the black stone, and placed it in the middle. "Each tribe will choose a man to hold the edge of the cloak. Then together you will lift the stone." They accepted his proposal, chose their representatives, and lifted the cloak. Muhammad placed the stone in its corner and stepped back. "Now you can continue rebuilding your cube," he said. All the tribes were satisfied with his solution. They finished building the wall, and Muhammad returned to his town. Some historians claim that the people in Mecca felt regret after Muhammad left, and they wanted to switch the tribes involved in each section of the wall. But when they tried to move the walls, they could not budge a single rock. Therefore, they never bothered again to change the distribution of the building sections. When the cube was finally completed, the tribes celebrated. But Abu Jahl and his sons were furious. They were angry because their tribe had lost the honor of placing the black stone. "One day we will get revenge," they vowed. A few years later, when the cube had been completed, Muhammad received divine revelation, and his mission as a prophet began. Soon, Mecca became the center of a new monotheistic religion. The cube became a place of worship, and the black stone, a symbol of unity. Abu Jahl and his sons, however, rejected the message. They tortured and harassed the Muslims, trying to wipe out the new religion. Eventually, they forced Muhammad and his followers to leave Mecca. After 13 years, though, when Muhammad had gained enough followers, he returned to Mecca with an army and defeated the polytheists. As promised, Abu Jahl was among the first to be killed. According to Muslim tradition, the black stone fell from its place and was cracked. Some sources say that Muhammad picked it up and mended it with his own hand. Others say that he ordered that it should be fixed as it was. Either way, the crack has remained ever since. It seems clear that the story of the black stone plays an important role in the history of Islam. If the struggle for this stone shows the internal disputes within the pagan Arab society, its resolution by Muhammad shows how Islam aimed to bring order and peace into people's lives. As you may know, nowadays billions of Muslims all around the world face the Kaaba during their prayers 5 times a day. And the black stone is believed to be the place where the first human being, Adam, pointed when he faced while praying. It has become the most sacred site in Islam. Muslims believe that merely visiting the Kaaba is an act of worship. During the Hajj pilgrimage, they are required to walk around it 7 times in an anti-clockwise direction. Each Muslim is obliged to perform Hajj at least once in his or her life. Many Muslims consider it the greatest duty of their lives. All right, that's it for today. Please share your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.